I want to ask you, as an American Jew, how can you continue to condone the actions of the Israeli government, condoned by the US government, in the Gaza Strip, where over 40,000 people have died, including Palestinians and Israelis, and large numbers of children and civilians? How can you continue to condone those actions?
Okay, hold on. I want to correct you. I don't just condone the actions of the Israeli Defense Forces and the Israeli government. I celebrate and laud them. I'm not morally apathetic about what's happening.
Ben Shapiro spoke at UCLA yesterday and, as you just saw, literally cheered on Israel's genocide in Gaza. And I don't use that word lightly. I say it because I mean it, and I want to show you why I believe that that's what's going on in Gaza. Now, after saying that he lauded the IDF's actions, he then went on to claim that they've taken extensive measures to prevent civilian deaths despite over 42,000 Palestinians that have been killed in the Gaza Strip alone. Take a look.
Hamas could end this war today by surrendering. They've chosen not to surrender. Instead, they spent billions of dollars building terror tunnels below civilian areas. It is not incumbent on the Israeli government to surrender just because terrorists are evil enough to hide behind civilians. The Israeli government has gone through such extraordinary efforts not to kill civilians that it has managed the best civilian to terrorist kill ratio in the history of urban warfare, and it is not close. Israel, with their complete air superiority, certainly would have had the ability to commit full-scale human atrocities had they wanted to. They have complete air superiority. They could have used F-35s and simply turned the place into a parking lot. They did not, in fact, do that. They moved vast scales of population. In fact, believe it or not, there have been more births in the Gaza Strip since the beginning of this war than there have been deaths in the Gaza Strip from the war itself. That is a very poor way to conduct a genocide. Israel is being more meticulous in the conduct of this war than any army in human history, and certainly than the United States Army in its vast role in the history of urban combat. That is uncontested.
I'm going to be generous, and instead of saying there were a lot of lies in that statement, I'm going to say that he is misinformed about what the reality is. Now, just quickly going through the numbers in Gaza, and it is difficult to get updated numbers because so many people have been slaughtered there, including journalists. But the exact death toll numbers to the kill ratios are nearly impossible to figure out at the moment or gauge because of the utter destruction of Gaza's medical system and infrastructure overall. There are also bodies still buried under the rubble, so those individuals haven't even been counted in the death toll. But there's no doubt that Israel has taken out thousands of civilians. The United Nations says most of Gaza's 42,000 people who have been killed are women and children. A September analysis from Oxfam, for instance, found that more women and children have been killed in Gaza by the Israeli military over the past year than the equivalent period of any other conflict over the past 2 decades. Conservative figures show that more than 6,000 women and 11,000 children were killed in Gaza by the Israeli military over the last 12 months. Data from 2004 to 2021 on direct conflict deaths from the Small Arms Survey estimates that the highest number of women killed in a single year was over 2,600 in Iraq in 2016. So, referring to the IDF as the most moral army, as you literally have American doctors coming back from Gaza to report that they kept seeing children as young as 5 with gunshot wounds to their heads, is a bit much. I'll put it that way. Go ahead, Jim.
I will not be generous. I will be accurate. He's definitely lying. He's lying on purpose because he thinks killing Palestinians is no big deal. He thinks the 1,200 Israeli lives lost on October 7th are the most precious lives that have ever existed on planet Earth. But the 42,000 people that Israel has slaughtered in Gaza, and we're going to show you some tape in a second of what's actually happening in Gaza so you can see for yourself what a liar Ben Shapiro is. So he's pretending that they have the best civilian to military kill ratio. The exact opposite is true. They have the worst civilian to military kill ratio, worse than the terrorists, worse than any other conflict. They've killed more journalists than any other conflict. Do you know that they've killed more journalists, 128 of them, than any conflict since 1992? Why? Because they don't want you to see the videos we're about to show you. Because if you saw how they're butchering the Palestinians, you would not believe the outrageous lies and propaganda by people like Ben Shapiro, who go, oh, we're the most moral army. Who cares if we slaughter Palestinians? 11,000 kids. They're not Israeli kids. They're just Palestinian kids. They think of them as future terrorists and Nazis and parasites. They dehumanize them, ironically, just like the Germans did. And the emaciated kids look just like the Jewish kids in Germany. But no, since they're not Israeli, Ben Shapiro couldn't care less. And he's saying they didn't slaughter them enough. Sick. I know, look, we gotta live together. And we're all Americans, and we're gonna debate issues, and we're gonna have some agreements and some disagreements. But this is a core moral issue where he's a deeply immoral person. So deeply immoral. He's talking after the giant military, the Goliath of Israel, has crushed the Palestinians and already killed 2,400 people in Lebanon, twice October 7th, already in Lebanon.
In Lebanon alone,
right?
Yeah.
And they're like, who cares? Lebanese lives, Christian lives, Muslim lives, Arab lives, who cares? We're the most moral army. It's outrageous, it's sickening, it's vomitous. You look, he's supporting an actual genocide right now. And all that never again talk, it turns out he meant never again for us.
Exactly.
For you, as long as it helps us take land and have more control, we'll do it to you over and over and over again. 57 years of brutal occupation, Ben, and you don't give a damn. You kind of like it, don't you, Ben? Oh yeah, we get to lord over them now. Who's in charge now, right? You feel powerful, you piece of crap.
All right, so
go ahead.
Let me get to some of the other things he said, because he says that the IDF, they're operating exactly the way they're supposed to, but have they taken measures to protect women and children? Let's hear from Dr. Taqreed Al-Imawi, who's an OBGYN at Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. Here's a statement from that doctor. The situation is beyond horrific and is very difficult and indescribable. We have seen more than 23 pregnant women among the injured coming to the hospital since last week, wounded either by shrapnel or gunfire, suffering from fractures. And remember, the starvation plan has already been implemented by Israel. They have not allowed humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, in the northern portion of the Gaza Strip, since the beginning of this month. Today is, what's the date today?
22nd.
Today's the 22nd, so
they're starving to death right now.
Yeah,
but hey, they're only Arabs, Ben, so I'm sure you love that they're starving to death.
UN reports also show that over the last 18 years, no other conflicts killed a higher number of children in 1 year than the current war that's going on in Gaza right now. And many of the kids who haven't been killed are now orphans. And I'm gonna try to keep it together while I go to this part, but one displaced girl whose parents are believed to have been killed, so she's orphaned. She has an injured little sister carrying her on her back through central Gaza in search of treatment. You're not gonna see anything gory in this video, but this is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen. This is in Gaza. These are two little girls who don't have parents anymore. Take a look.
ليش هيك حمل اخوك؟ انت عتبني. طيب وين مودياها؟ بدي اروح اعالجتها. وانت مش تعبانه وانت حملها هيك؟ تعبانه ولا لا؟ تعبانه ولسه بعملها او مش فاكر. وين رايحه انت هالبيت؟ انا رايحه في المنتزه البريج؟ طب تعال اخذك معايا. يلا اطلع بدي اخذها معايا. بتحبي اختك عشان حملاكي كانت؟ طلع عليا. يلا مع السلامة.
If they survive the war, and they might not, Israel might kill them. If they survive the war, that little girl is going to see her older sister carrying her to safety. Look, we're all going to see it, and they're going to make movies about it later, and then we're all going to pretend, oh, nobody could have known at the time. No, we know at the time. We know they're committing a genocide and ethnic cleansing. We're about to show you the Jabalia death march. So they shot this little girl just like her, hint, 5-year-old. They telephoned into the Israelis to the IDF, to the most moral army. There's a 5-year-old. The IDF has already killed all of her family. She's sitting in the car with the dead family members. We're sending an ambulance to go get a 5-year-old girl. The Israelis showed up. Okay, good. They murdered everyone in the ambulance and the 5-year-old. Okay, so, and the 100 doctors from America say an extraordinary number of headshots. Their snipers are not only killing journalists, not only killing Americans, but they're killing little children. They have become what they most despised. If I saw Jewish kids like that being treated by anyone on this planet like the Israelis are treating the Palestinians, what wouldn't I do to stop it? What wouldn't I do to make sure it never happens again?
Because you see them as humans. Because you see them as humans, right? They're humans. How is it that we're able to see the humanity of Israeli civilians? We were furious as we were covering what Hamas did to innocent civilians in Israel on October 7th. And I can't accept the fact that people can dehumanize Palestinians, including children as young as the little girls that you saw in that video, to the point where you celebrate what the IDF is doing. And this isn't even all of it. This isn't even close to all of it. Others are suffering from hunger, disease, horrific living conditions. In June, Reuters reported that 1 in 3 children in northern Gaza are acutely malnourished or suffering from wasting. Okay, and then the UN says that currently acute malnutrition is at serious levels, 10 times higher than before the escalation of the hostilities. Seasonal diseases and increasingly limited access to water and health services are likely to worsen acute malnutrition, especially in densely populated areas where the risk of epidemics is already high. Yet the head of UNRWA says Israel is continuing to prevent humanitarian missions from reaching northern Gaza with supplies, including food and medicine. And I want to fast forward to this image because, Cenk, you requested this image. It is a difficult image to see. But human beings, innocent civilians, of all backgrounds, of all faiths, should be protected. The IDF is not going out of its way to protect innocent civilians. They're not going out of their way to protect children, okay? Headshots on 5-year-olds is not indicative of a moral army that's protecting children. Do you want to go to the side-by-side video, photo?
Yeah, so let's show you the photo. So on the left is a Palestinian child, on the right is a Jewish child. From the Holocaust. So if that bothers you, it should. And not because it's anti-Semitic to show this comparison, because it's heartless not to see this comparison. So that's not a random kid. A third of the kids are in that state right now. They're literally, you know who blocks humanitarian assistance from reaching little children? Monsters. And do you know that the Israelis blocked injured children from getting medical help? Their children, what difference would it make if they got medical help outside the country? They're like, no, we don't want them getting medical help.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Look, guys, he said in the beginning of that video in absurd fashion, they want Israel to surrender. What are you talking about? Israel's one of the largest militaries in the world. It has the Iron Dome. It's the only country in the world that no one can even touch because they have Iron Dome that we gave them. It has the US military backing it up. It has destroyed 80% of the buildings in Gaza. 90% of the humans in Gaza, 2.2 million people displaced. And now they're moving them out of northern Gaza. And the Likud party, Netanyahu's party, did a seminar this weekend on how to resettle Gaza. So Ben, let me ask you a goddamn question. So when they start moving settlers into northern Gaza to steal that land, and they murdered all those kids to steal that land, are you gonna say, oh no, you guys were right? Or let me guess, I'll tell you ahead of time exactly what Ben Shapiro is going to say. Oh, a new excuse, human shields, terrorists, bad guys, Israel's right, moral army. We had to do it. We had to create a buffer zone. There was no choice. We have a right to defend ourselves. You know who said they had a right to defend themselves as they took more and more land? The Germans. They said this is for defense of the homeland. We didn't take the Sudetenland because we're an aggressive imperialist colonialist army. We took it because we needed some breathing space. And Ben Shapiro is going to say something akin to breathing space when they take northern Gaza. And he's gonna say, well, we had to take it from those dirty terrorists. You know how they are. You just slaughter their children because you're moral.
Why did Israel stop allowing severely injured Palestinians to leave the Gaza Strip from the Rafah border crossing? They were allowing people to leave from the Rafah border crossing if they had severe injuries and needed severe medical attention. But ever since Israel and the IDF took control of the Rafah border crossing, they haven't allowed people to leave. Why is that? Why is that? Why would the moral army prevent civilians from leaving the Gaza Strip to get medical attention?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this as I do almost every story. Guys, we, unlike Ben, are not tribal. I don't give a goddamn what your religion or your ethnic background is. I don't know why anybody would care. And let me be further insulting to the morons like Ben Shapiro. You are so unintelligent if you think there's a difference between Jews and Muslims and Christians and your stupid tribe and another stupid tribe. Oh, my tribe is good. My tribe should be protected. All other tribes, oh, the Muslim tribe is bad. We kill their children because they're the bad ones. No, you moron. We're all the same. We're all human beings. We should fight like crazy to protect Jews, to protect Muslims, to protect Christians, to protect all of us. But no, if it's their beloved Israel, Ben Shapiro and the monsters of Israeli right-wingers will say, who cares? Slaughter them, ethnically cleanse them because we're the moral army. No, you're sickeningly evil. If you look at those pictures, you look at those videos and you go, good, they had it coming. You're a sick, sick person. Okay, do we have the Jabelia video?
Yeah, so this is difficult video for me to watch, but it's Palestinians who are forced to flee northern Gaza, flee from Jabalia. The video just, I mean, it helps you visualize what's happening on the ground there.
So the Palestinians are guilty? The Palestinians are oppressing the Israelis? That the world is asking Israel to surrender, not the Palestinians? Those are not Israelis, those are Palestinians. All the buildings around them are leveled because Israel has destroyed them all. Even their own hostages said, when we were hostages, we didn't know why they were bombing the buildings we were in. The Hamas was in the tunnels, they weren't getting Hamas at all. All they were doing was slaughter after slaughter after slaughter. Any goddamn liar in American media who doesn't report it as a genocide, you will have that on your record and you will live with that shame for the rest of your life, that you are a so-called reporter in the middle of a genocide, one of the worst genocides we have ever seen. And you said 50-50, I can't tell who's right, the Germans or the Jews. Oh, I'm sorry, in this case, the Israelis or the Palestinians. You can't tell who's right and wrong after seeing all the numbers, all the overwhelming evidence. No, there's something really wrong with you morally if you are ambivalent about this. If you create a false equivalency between the people doing the slaughter and the ethnic cleansing and the people suffering from that ethnic cleansing, there's something wrong with your heart and you should look into it and get help.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.